Thank you. Good morning, students. Welcome to our revision lectures for a very interesting and a very important subject used in industry, that is cost and management accounting. As you know, I've been always telling you during my classes that this is a subject which has a huge demand in industry. Yes, now it is to be combined with the use of technology. So the cost and management accounting is now also to be applied using the latest technology tools. But before that, you need to understand from the core what exactly is cost accounting and management accounting. And in this subject of cost accounting, one important subject, I should say, not a chapter, is of costing, because costing in itself is a whole domain, and it is one of the most sensitive activities of an organization, that is to do costing. Now, what is costing? Costing is the ascertainment of cost. Now, when you are doing this, ascertaining cost, you have to present that cost in a proper format. That format is what is called as cost sheet, and this is our today's topic of revision. I'm sure you all are well versed with the topic of cost sheet, but to start with, let me just revise the cost sheet format in case by chance any of you are not able to recall cost sheet. So I would like to revise firstly the topic of cost sheet for you, and then we will be proceeding with solving sums relating to cost sheet. So what is cost sheet? As I said, students, cost sheet is nothing but it is your format of presenting the cost that you have computed. Now, this format is an important medium of also communicating the cost in its different stages, the cost in its different elements to the management, because that is how the management will be able to take its decision relating to cost sheet or relating to cost control, any other decision which is influenced by cost, that will be taken using this particular document of cost sheet. So let me just go through the broad format first, so that when we discuss the sums, when we solve the sums, you should be well versed with the format. Now see, we are talking about manufacturing concern. So cost sheet format generally will include the name of the job or the code of the job, then the period for which this cost sheet is to be prepared, whether for a month, for a year, and the production units which are involved in this cost sheet. So let us say 1 lakh units, etc. Now we start with the cost part. So generally there are 3 columns: particulars, then inner column of amount rupees, and the outer column of amount rupees. Now, in this, the first item is raw material consumed. Now, there is a possibility that this amount is given ready-made in the sum, or you need to compute it by a small working. But this is also called as direct materials. Correct? Now, how it will be computed? You have to find out opening stock of raw material. To that, add purchases of raw material during the period. Add further expenses relating to purchases, and subtract closing stock of raw material. These all figures you will take in the inner column, and in the outer column you will have the final figure of raw material consumed. Similar lines, you have direct labor, or direct wages or manufacturing wages. These are the parallel names. Now again, either the figure would be given ready-made or you would be given the different types of labor functions or maybe type of labor as details. So let us say forging, assembly. These are the functions performed. Again, in the inner column, the labor cost is given. In the outer column, you have your total direct labor cost. Then comes direct expenses, which many times will also be the royalty. Now, the total of this is prime cost, correct? Now, to this, you will add factory overheads or production overheads or manufacturing overheads. Now, generally in the sum, the ORR would be given. So we'll multiply the base by the ORR to get this figure. Now, in this, you will add opening WIP. You will subtract closing WIP stocks. And after this adjustment, what you get is called as your factory cost. It is also called as works cost. To this, you add administration overheads. This is which administration overheads related to production. Now, there are two types of admin overheads. If it is related to production, it is added over here. This will give you your cost of production. To that, you'll add opening stock of finished goods. You will subtract closing stock of finished goods. You get your cost of goods sold. To this, you add administration overheads, which are general. To this, you add selling and distribution overheads. You can see all these overheads will be added or charged using their respective ORRs given in the question. So if the ORR is given per machine hour, you will multiply the rate by machine hours. If it is given as a percentage, let us say of factory cost, we will multiply the percentage by factory cost. So that is the base. So if the percentage is given percentage of factory cost, so factory cost becomes a base. If the percentage is given percentage of direct labor cost becomes a base. So you multiply it. Now this total is your cost of sale, or in very simple words, total cost. So students, this is broadly the format of cost sheet, right? Now with this format, let us take up few sums, past exam question sums, MTP, RTP sums, which are relevant to this topic. I have shared this particular sheet yesterday, so you may download it from there. But for the time being, you can take immediately a screenshot of every sum so that you have the question in front of you. Now, this particular first question, I have taken it because I found it different from the other questions. In other questions, they ask you to prepare the complete cost sheet. Here, they are not asking you to prepare complete cost sheet. Rather, here, they want from you different components of cost. Now, what they want you to calculate from the given data is the three types of cost or the three functional costs. One is the administration, the selling cost, and the distribution cost. Now, interestingly, they have segregated selling and distribution. So, students, now since we are revising, I will request you that you first apply your mind before I giving you the answer. You apply your mind, and then I will give you the answer. So I give you 2 minutes. You have to simply mark against each name, whether it is administration, so you can mark as A. If it is selling, you mark as S. If it is distributor, you mark as D. Okay, Asta has a question. So if it is only given as administration overheads and it is not specified, then Asta beta, you can take an assumption and treat it as administration related to production or administration related to selling, that is general administration. Many times, how you can identify it, let us say, or the assumption, if the administration overheads is given to you as a percentage of factory cost. So the base which is taken is factory cost. So you generally treat it as related to production. But if the base is taken as cost of goods sold or sales, if that is given as the base, so you can take it as general administration over it. So this is a clue how you can assume. Correct, Asta? Otherwise, it has to be your choice. If nothing of this clue is available, you can always assume. It is always better to assume it is related to production. But both assumptions are fine. Both are acceptable in the exams. Right? Chalo. Identify from the names whether it is administration related overheads, or it is a selling related overheads, or it is a distribution related overheads. Hello, 1 more minute, students. Chalo. Now, see, from the names, you have to identify it belongs to which function. So first is given rent paid for factory. Is it admin? No. Is it selling? No. Is it distribution? No. Then what it is? It is part of factory overheads. So for the timing, it is not part of our answer because our answer has not asked us to find out the factory overheads cost, right? Salary paid to office staff. This will be administration. To auditors, this will be administration. To sales manager, this will be selling. Vehicles have been taken on hire for directors meetings. So again, this is administration. Then wages paid to workers engage in storing goods at sales depot. So this is related to distribution because cost related to sales depots is the distribution cost. Then traveling allowance paid to sales staff. So it will be selling cost. Cost paid for secondary packing. Secondary packing is required for distribution because when you put it in big cartons, the goods can be delivered to the customer. Electricity bill paid of the sales office selling cost. Depreciation of the delivery vehicles distribution cost. Bonus paid to sales staff selling cost. And fees paid to directors administration cost. So students, I hope you also would have got a similar answer. Yes, anybody having any doubts, confusion with relating to this? No? All clear? Should we proceed then? Excellent. Now we come to another interesting exam problem. Now it says a company is using job costing and the following data is provided for the year ended 31st March. What is the data saying? You have material cost, you have wages cost, you have selling distribution, you have administration, you have factory. Now, what is the first requirement? See, you have to be very clear with what is the requirement of the question and answer accordingly. First requirement is we have to prepare a job cost sheet identifying all these items. Now again here administration is not given. So I'm going to treat it as related to production. Now, what else is given? Now for the next year, the factory is receiving an order. So a new order is received for which material direct labor is given. Now what you are supposed to do? You are supposed to find out the price that will help you earn the same rate of profit. Same rate means whatever was the profit percentage here, you have to find out that profit percentage and you have to earn the same profit percentage on this job, right? Further, what assumptions are to be made? Selling and distribution cost have an inflation of 15%. So this cost will go up by 15% in the next period. Now, how are the overheads to be charged? The factory overheads is recovered as a percentage of wages and other overheads are recovered as a percentage of cost of production based on cost rates prevailing in the previous year. Okay, so this will not be related to production. This will be general. Why? Because they have said that other overheads, which means selling and administration both, are to be recovered as a percentage of cost of production. So if it is to be recovered as a percentage of cost of production, it means this administration overheads is coming after cost of production. So it will be general. Chalo. So you have to prepare two cost sheets. First is the present cost sheet of the original period. And then from this, the cost sheet for the next period where you will be finding out the cost. Chalo. Should I give you time? Would you like to practice at your end first so that at least you also get to know where you are getting stuck, right? Yes, great. Chalo, great. That's great, Pooja. So first, see, you have to read the question minutely. You have to see what is asked in the question minutely, right? Chalo. So I give you time. You prepare the first cost sheet first. Now from the cost sheet, you have to identify all these ratios, percentage of profit, then over here, whatever overheads charging percentages are to be required. First, find out all that so that it will be helpful in preparing the second cost sheet. Chalo. Hmm, hmm. Students, first cost sheet. Let me know the percentages. Students, start posting your percentages. I'll just prepare this cost sheet here itself for quick reference of everyone. Now this will also be my factory cost, and this will also be my cost of production, because I do not have administration overheads here. I have administration here. The administration is 840. This is 1050. So this is my COS. 50, 60, 60, 90. And to this, the profit to be added is 1218. So my sales is 7308. Correct, students? Now I have to find out different percentages. First is I have to find out the percentage of factory overheads, which is to be taken as a percentage of direct wages. Students, kindly post the percentages. So factory overheads is to be recovered as a percentage of direct wages, correct? So calculation of ORR. So first, for factory overheads, it is factory overheads upon direct wages into 100. My factory overheads are 9 lakhs and direct wages is 15 lakhs. Correct? So for factory overheads, I'm getting answers. Pooja, what is 280 beta? You have said something 280. Yes, Asta, this is perfect. So factory overheads is 60% of direct wages. Similarly, I'll do it for administration overheads. For administration overheads, the basis is cost of production. So admin is 840. Cost of production we got here is 42 into 100. So it is coming as, yes, Sabrina, perfect. Yes, Asta, correct. Of COP. Similarly, selling and distribution overheads, it is how much? It is 10 lakh 50,000. Sorry, I need to mention. So it is selling and distribution rates upon COP. So it is 1050 upon 42. Correct? Yes, Asta, correct. Good. So the percentage is 25% of COP. And then I can take the percentage of profit. Now they are saying if the company wants to earn the same rate of profit on sales. Now I'll say instead of on sales, we'll find it out on COS. Why? Because when we'll be preparing the next cost sheet, there will be COS first. So earning same profit on COS is also equivalent to earning the same profit on sales. So I'll be calculating profit, correct? So it is 1218. COS, how much did we get? It is 1690 into 100. I hope you understood. They have said percentage of sales. I'm taking percentage of COS so that while preparing the next cost sheet also it will be easy. So I'm getting 20%, correct? Perfect. Perfect. Good. So students now take up the next cost sheet for the upcoming year for the job that the company has undertaken. You just plug in the job and go. So solve the next cost sheet, students, in this sum. So hope you have prepared the second cost sheet. Anybody can give me the answer, selling price? Okay, great. Pooja has given one answer. I'll just prepare the cost sheet here itself for quick reference. Or okay, I'll prepare it in the next document. Just will have to keep on switching the documents. So how much is direct material? 480 direct labor 3 lakhs. So question 2. Job cost sheet. Period is 2025-26. No other data is known to us. Now there are no details to be written in inner column, so I'm simply preparing the outer column. So I have direct material, I have direct wages. So what are the figures? So direct material is 480, direct wages is 3 lakhs. So my prime cost. Fellow students, other those who have got the answers, the sale price of this job, may start posting. Now I have factory overheads. How am I supposed to charge? Direct wages in the ORR, which was 60%. So into 60%. Correct. How much is my direct wages here? 3 lakhs into 60%. So it is 180. So my factory cost and even my cost of production both will be 960. Now administration overheads. Now it is to be taken as how much percent of cost of production? 20%, and this is 25%. Okay. So it is 20%. So it is 960 into 20%. Correct? So 180 plus 12, 192. Selling and distribution. It is how much? 25% into cost of production. So it will be 240. Correct? So my COS 10, 12, 1392. And to this, I will add the profit. How much percentage is our profit? Our profit is 20% of COS. So it is 1392 into 20%. Correct? Okay, Pooja has given answer. Asta gives an answer. Oh yes, thank you everyone for highlighting. So I forgot there is a 15% inflation here. Now because of this inflation, my figures have to be revised. Correct? Okay. So now this plus 15% inflation. Correct? So it will be 15% of 24, 15% is 36. So 240 plus 36 is 276. Correct? So now my total is 9, 10, 12, 12, and it is 14, 26. Correct. Correct, students. 1428. Yes, thank you, Asta. Now 1428 into 20%. 856. 286. 336. Correct. Okay, 17, 18, 600. Okay. Profit is 285, 600. Okay. So final sale price is 16, 17, 17, 13, 600. Yes, perfect. Very good, everyone. Good. Everybody has got this, right? I hope students, everybody is understanding the working part. So only the thing is that, see, the format will be similar with slight variations in the format relating to administration overheads, or if details of opening closing stock are given. That is the only variation in the format. But now what is different is the type of question that is asked. So now let me take you to variety of questions. So this is one variety of question where you are given data of 1 year and you are supposed to project the cost and other data for the next year by taking percentages from the previous year. Now we go to another type of question. Now see what is given. See, understanding the question is the key. So what it says, XYZ Construction is a leading engineering and construction company, providing a range of infrastructure and industrial services. Recently, they have been asked to quote for a residential building construction and an industrial plant construction. So two projects, they need to prepare cost sheet. However, they are winning fewer RBC's contracts than expected. It means there is some problem with their RBC costing, maybe because it is given that they are winning less number of contracts. Now, XYZ Construction has a policy to price all their jobs at budgeted cost plus 50%. So their profit margin is 50% on their total cost. And overheads are currently absorbed on the basis of labor hour. The company believes that switching to ABC to absorb overheads will reduce the cost associated with RBC. So automatically the RBC's price will come down and it will be competitive. So in short, they are planning to switch from the traditional method of using labor hours to the ABC method. Correct? Now, so in short, students, this question is cost sheet plus ABC concept combined. So this is how questions you get and you have to be prepared for this. So multi-chapter or matching or multi-chapter mixture questions you should be now prepared for. Now you are required to prepare with the help of following data. What is the data given? Overheads category, amounts of overheads are given, their activity drivers are given. So generally this will happen, students, that whenever ABC has to be done, they will split the overheads according to the activities. So it is simple. I'm sure you all remember. So this becomes your cost pool, activity cost pool. This is the activity cost driver. Once you divide the cost by the driver, you will get the ORR, which is called as activity cost driver rate. Correct? So we have to simply divide these figures to get the ORR under ABC, that is the activity cost driver rate. Now, what further details are given? For a typical RBC, the material cost is 5 lakhs, labor is 1200 hours, site visits are 2, and documents are 2. So this will help you in charging overheads as per ABC. Then for IPC project, material cost is 12 lakhs, labor hours is this much, site visits are 10, documents are 800. Labor is paid at the rate of 100 per hour, so this will help you get the wages. Now, you are required to do what? You are required to calculate the cost of each product or each project using the traditional method of absorbing overheads, that is the labor hour basis. So for this, first you'll have to find out ORR using the base as labor hours. And again, you have to recalculate the same cost sheet under the ABC method. Correct, students? I'm sure you all are well versed with both the approaches. So for both the approaches, you have to prepare cost sheet. But before preparing cost sheet, you have to find out the respective ORR or the charging rates of overheads. Correct? Sure. Will you try at your end first? Yes, students. Will you try at your end first? Great. So definitely, first you all should give a try, because in revision it is important that we are able to understand how to start the sum. See, many times in exams, the challenge is not that you don't know that chapter. The challenge is after reading the question, from where to start. Now, from where to start, for this, the ideology or the approach should be that you should first know what is your end product of this question. So the end product of this question is cost sheet. So what you can simply do is you can first prepare the cost sheet. Now, when you are preparing the cost sheet, you'll automatically identify what is missing, and that you can compute. So I'll just show you. So see, many times when you're not able to understand from where to start the sum, which is a common problem, what, as I said, I'll suggest is prepare the cost sheet or the final product of the sum. So the final product of the sum is cost sheet, right? One is under the traditional approach and one is under the ABC approach. So first see what is the final product or what is asked in the question. So if you remember, in both these subparts A and B, they have simply asked us to prepare cost sheet. So I'm not doing nothing but going as per the requirement of the question. So this is part A, this is part B. Now I have two jobs. So particulars, again particulars, correct? Now direct material, direct labor, prime cost. This, students, you know, will be same in both. Now after this, when you have to charge overheads, in case of ABC, sorry, in case of traditional, it will be simply labor hours into ORR. Now what is missing is the ORR. That is not given in the question. That is what you need to find out. Similarly, over here, to charge your overheads, you have to do it activity wise. Now, what are your activities? Supervisor, project planner, property related. Supervisor, one line blank for showing the working. Project planner, and third is property related. So this is how, students, will get your total cost. To that, you'll add the profit margin. You'll get your budgeted sale price. Same here, total cost. To that, you add profit margin. You get your budgeted sale price. Now see, this is the main answer, but for this answer, you need to do some working note. So when you prepare this format, you'll realize that what is missing amongst all the data required is ORR. So you will know that, okay, I need to first find out ORR. It is budgeted overheads upon budgeted base. And what is the base? Labor hours. So you'll fill in this data, you'll get the ORR. Similarly, over here, what is the working note? Is calculation of your activity cost driver rate, again, which is ORR under ABC. So first is activity, then cost pool, then cost driver, and then the rate. By simply dividing both this, you'll get the rate. So I'll mention here supervisor, I'll mention here project planning, and I'll mention here property related. So these are the three activities. Now by taking the cost pool and the driver, I will divide it and get the driver rate. So see, I have not yet solved anything, but I've done the entire framework. Once you are able to do this, now the next part is only fill in the blanks. So this is where you should be able to work out. Correct, students? So start solving. Students, just take a screenshot of this so that in case if I'm swapping to the other, have this handy with you. If you have not downloaded it from the portal, then at least take a screenshot of this for the time being. Done? Screenshot. Okay. This will be your answering format. So start solving. Pooja, wage rate is given, na? Check the wage rate in the question. It is there in the questions, Pooja. Found, Pooja, wage rate in the question. See, I'll show you. Labor is paid at the rate of how much? 100 per hour. So they have given you the wage rate, right? Hello, did you get? Good. But Pooja, we have two different projects, na? So you have to give me two answers under both approach. Traditional also two answers and ABC also two answers. So in the meantime, I'll start solving at my end also. So see, total of overheads is 600 lakhs and the total labor hours is 50,000 hours. So this is 600 lakhs and this is 50,000 hours. Correct. So is it 200 per hour? The OR here, please cross check. No. 120, 80, 400. 120, 80, 400. This is 50,000 hours. And then their cases it is 600, 300. 600, 300. Correct? I'll get these respective OR. Okay. Somebody please give me the ABC ORR rates. No. $20,000, 26,667,800. Okay. This is 20,000. So this is 20,000. 26,667. This is 800. This is 20,000 per what? Per visit. Correct? That is 26,667 per document. So this is 20,000 per visit, per document, per labor hour. Correct? Okay. Now, material cost 5 lakhs, labor cost, no, labor hours are given 1200. 5 lakhs. Now, it is 1200 hours multiplied by how much was our labor rate? 100 per hour. So 1200 into 100. 120. So it is 120. So prime cost is 620 and 620. Correct? Same thing. Here it is 12 lakhs and 2500 hours. 12 lakhs and here it is 2500 hours. So into wage rate is 100. So it is 2 lakh 50,000. So this is 1450. So this is 1450. Correct, students? Now, here we have to charge the overheads using the ORR. How much is our ORR that we just computed for? It is rupees 1200 per labor hour. Okay, and how many labor hours are there? So here, so we already have it about labor cost also. So my charging rate is 1200 and the labor hours here are 1200. So it is 1200 hours in 2 rupees 1200. It is 2500 hours in 2 rupees 1200. Correct, students? So 1440, correct? And this is 30. So this becomes 2060 and this becomes 4450. Correct? Yes. Now adding 50% of total cost. So this will be 1030. So it will be 3090. This will be 2225. So this will be 6675. Correct? Yes. So this is the traditional method price. Now we go to ABC. Now ABC, my overheads are overhead rate is 20,000, 26,667, and 800. So here I have to multiply by number of visits into 20,000. Correct? Here it is per what? Per document. So it is number of documents into 26,667. And here it is labor hours into 800. Correct? Yes. Now let us see what are the figures. So visits are 2, documents are 2, visits are 10, documents are 8. 2, 2, 10, 8. Documents. Correct? This is 26,667. This is 26,667. This is 20,000. This is 20,000. Correct? So this becomes 40,000. This becomes 2 lakh. This becomes 53,334 something. Correct? How much? 2,12,000. 223. Correct? Here 1,200 into 800. Here 2,500 into 800. Now it's a 960. And then this will be correct. 21,3336. So this is 21,3336. Okay. So finally, total cost. Right, students? I hope you all got this under the ABC method. Now we'll add up prime cost plus all these overheads to get our total cost under the ABC, and then adding 50% of total cost. That will give you your profit margin and finally the price. Correct, students? So 620 prime cost plus 40 is 660. 660 plus 960 is 1620. So it is 1673,334. Right? Similarly, 1450 plus 2 is 1650 plus 20 is 3650. So it is 36, 38, 38, 63, 336. Right, students? Total cost. And then 50% of this total cost is your profit margin. Correct? And then you will get your final sale price. So tell me, what is the sale price under ABC of both the projects? Yes, students. So tell me, what is the sale price? Okay. So Asta is giving me the price 2,51,000. That is the rounding of maybe the figure. And then 579, 5. Now see, what was coming as 3090 has become 25. So this will help you reduce your quotation of RBC projects and hence give you better chance of getting the contracts. So that will be our third question. What is given in third? Assuming that the cost of RBC falls by 7% and the price of IPC rises by 2% as a result of change. Suggest possible pricing strategies for the two services offered. Additionally, suggest two reasons other than high prices for current poor sales of RBC. Now see, this is more of a you can say judgmental question. So firstly, what is the first part of the question? Assuming that the cost falls by 7%, so definitely cost has fallen. They are saying assume it is 7% and prices of IPC is going up by 2%. Suggest possible pricing strategy for the two services offered by ABC. Now see, what are pricing strategies? It is a theory point. So there are broadly two types of pricing strategy, students. The first pricing strategy is the penetration pricing, in which we keep our prices low. Now, why we do this? Whenever we want to enter a market, we try to quote a lower price. So you have many examples of this. The best example is Jio, who introduced 0 rupees initially for its mobile connections and data, and that is how it captured the market. This is penetration pricing. Then there is premium pricing, which is charging high price. Now, this you do for established products where you already have a good demand for the product and you know that irrespective of whatever is your price, people are going to buy. The best example of this is iPhone. So they always keep their prices premium. Why? Because it has already become a brand and people buy it because of the brand. So they are not concerned with price. In fact, it is the other way around. Higher the price, the product is bought more because of its brand value, because of its prestige value. So here we will suggest for our first product, that is our residential projects, that is this RBC, we will suggest penetration pricing because right now we are not getting much projects of RBC. And anyways, because of ABC, our costing has reduced. So let us follow the penetration pricing for RBC. That will help us get more projects and get our name established in the RBC category. And for the IPC, since we are already having good reputation and anyways the prices are also increasing of IPC, let us charge slightly higher price because since our name is already established, we are regularly getting good number of projects of IPC. By charging slightly premium price, we will not lose the customer, but it will help us get more margin here. So which will indirectly compensate our loss at RBC because at RBC we are planning to charge lower price. So this could be the answer. This could be the pricing strategy that we will propose in both these cases. This is our first part of the answer. So I've given you the answer and the reason behind these answers. Now coming to the second part. Suggest two reasons other than high prices for the current poor sales of RBC. Now see, these two reasons you have to just use your judgment to find out the answer. What could be the other reason besides the price? Why RBC is not having good sales? So one reason could be very high competition in this segment. So there would be multiple other players who are regularly in this market. Maybe they are in this market earlier than when we have entered. So they already have their established names and goodwills. So this could be one reason other than the pricing. The other reason is that this particular market has very less demand. Now, when the demand is less and you have multiple players, then also your probability of getting the projects is less. So these could be the two reasons other than the high price why we are not having good sales of RBC. So this is pure judgmental answer that will every question wise it will change. You'll have to use your judgment how you'll answer this. So this is more of a theoretical part in this question. I hope students the entire question with the answer is understood by everyone. Everybody is clear with this entire part. Students, anybody any doubts or questions relating to this question? So this question was a combination of cost sheet plus ABC plus the pricing strategy theory part. Right? Understood, students? Good. Very good. So students, now after this, we'll be solving this question. But before that, I'll take the break. We'll take our 15 minutes break. But I'm keeping this question on the screen. So once, if you come back early, before 15 minutes, you may start solving this sum by your own. Asta is asking, sir, whether heat, light, and power will come under direct expenses or factory overheads. See, understand, Asta, what is the difference between overheads and direct cost? When you are able to link any particular expense with a product, link means what? You are able to measure how much of heat, how much of light, how much of power is going in one unit of the product. It becomes direct. Now, practically, many times it is very difficult because these costs are not incurred directly for the product. Like heating, it is used in the process of creating the product. So you can link it with the machine, that how much heating is required for the machine, but it is very difficult to link it with the product. Similarly, light, Light, if it is general lighting or lighting for running the machine, again, linking it with the product is difficult. Same as power. Power is generally used for running the machines. So many times, Asta, since it is very difficult to link these expenses directly with your product, that is, it is difficult to find out how much of this expense will be incurred for every product, every unit of product. Since it is difficult, it is always better to put it under factory overheads. Fine, Asta. I hope this is understood. Clear? Fine. Sure then, students. Let us go for a break and we connect after 15 minutes. Fine. Thank you. Let us continue. Let us proceed with the next question. I'm sure you would have started solving this. So this is the question 4. Now see, this question is now combining cost sheet and batch costing. So what it says, Lux is into luxury pens, manufacturing 120 pens in a batch. Now this information is important. To process a single batch of 120 pen, company needs to incur following. This is material, this is wages, this is completely variable. And this batch setup cost is semi-variable because it is incurred on the basis of per batch. Now what is given? For each batch, the company absorbs the production overheads at the rate of 20% of direct wages and 15% of the total production cost is allocated to cover the remaining cost. During the month of March, it received an order of 2400 pens and the company aims to achieve a profit margin of 25%. So see, it is that way, pretty straightforward, simple question. We need to now find out or prepare the cost sheet for 2400 pens, right? Batch cost sheet, right? How much is your production quantity now? It is 2400 pens. Fine. So again, particulars and amount rupees. Direct material, direct labor, prime cost. No, 1 second. Setup cost is also there, which is a direct cost. So this will make your prime cost. Then you'll add factory overhead. This will be factory cost and cost of production. And then we'll add administration. I think these three are combined. Administration, selling and distribution. All this will make it total cost. And then to this we add profit. So we get our sale price. Fine. Now, we understand this, students. They have given you the cost sheet for 120 pens, right? Which is also their batch size. Now we have to find it out for 2400 pens. So virtually every cost has to be multiplied by 20. So if you multiply every cost by 20, you will get the desired cost. So we'll take these original costs, 57375. Then 6750 and 18900. All these are for one batch of 120 pen. Now we want for 20 batches because our pens are 2400, so automatically it becomes 20 batches. Now this will help you find out your cost for 2400 pens, correct? Production overheads is 20% of direct wages and other overheads are 15% of production cost. Right? Chalo. Then tell me the figures. 147,500. So 1147,500 is my direct material cost, right? 13,500. 13,500. Mm, 13,500. 5,000. Correct. 36, 37, 800. Is this correct, students? The calculation, please cross verify. So 11, 12, 15, 15, and then 47 and 35 is 82. 82 and 78 is 60. Correct, students? 1660,500 is my prime cost. Please cross confirm. Yes, students, kindly cross confirm this amount. Perfect. So now 20% of only the wages portion, that is this amount. 20%, 27,000. So this will be 1687,500. And then 15% of this amount of 1687,500 will give me my remaining three overheads. Okay, Asta is giving me 253,125. So this becomes 1946.25. How much is the profit margin that you expect to earn? 25% of sales. So if it is 25% of sales, so it is 1/4. So it will be 1/3 of cost, correct? 25% of sales is 1/4 of sales. So 1/4 of sales is 1/3 of cost. So we'll take 1/3 of this. Correct? 646,875 is my profit margin, which is coming as 1/3 of the cost. So this is 25,87. Correct? So my sale price for this 2,400 units of pen is coming to 25,87,500. Done, students? Have well understood this? So this is a question where batch costing is used, and using the batch costing, we are also preparing the cost sheet. Done? Now let us go to a sum where some part of mathematics is required. So question 5, question 6. Chalo. First is question 5. I give you 5 minutes. Go through the sum. Let me know how you will solve this sum. Question 5. In fact, you can start preparing the cost sheet also once you understand what is to be done. Okay. Now there is a question in the chat box. Asta is asking, sir, if prepaid is given in the question, you will deduct that cost portion. Yes, beta. Because prepaid is concerning the next financial year's cost paid in this year. So you'll deduct that. Second, lubricant oil grease will come under indirect material. Yes, it will come under indirect material. Correct. Now, if you have gone through this question, students, let us now attempt to solve this. Again, this is an interesting question. So it says a company, Bata company manufactures two types of shoe, A and B. The production cost for the year 31st March is as under material cost, labor cost, production overheads. Total is 27 lakhs. Now, interestingly, this cost is given for both the shoes combined. So there is no WIP at the beginning or end. It is ascertained that. Now, since the cost is given combined for both the shoes, now here they ask you to split the cost between both the shoe type A and B and prepare the cost sheet for each shoe. So this is where this question slightly covers maths. Now what is given? It is ascertained that, now this is very important, for direct material, what is said? The direct material per unit of type A shoes consists double of that of type B shoes. Fine. Similarly, for direct wages, but which direct wages per unit? The type B shoe direct wages is 60% of the type A shoes direct wages cost. Production overheads is same per pair. Administrative overheads, which is administration is related to production, is 150% of wages. Selling cost is 150 per pair. So these two overheads are given straightforward. Rather, all the three overheads are given straightforward. Our only working is majorly for material and labor. Production during the year was A 40,000, but sales is 36,000. B is 120, but sales is 1 lakh. And the selling prices are given. Now we are required to prepare the cost sheet. Question 5. Let me call it as product cost sheet. So see, we have done all types of cost sheet today. We did job cost sheet, which was the RBC question. Then we did batch cost sheet, which is the previous question. And this we are doing product cost sheet. So particulars, then shoe of type A and shoe of type B. Direct material, direct wages, prime cost. Production overheads, factory costs. Administration overheads, cost of production. Now here, students, you'll have to observe that one thing is given very silently, that is the finished goods stock position. They have mentioned there is no stock of WIP, but when you read the data, even though there is no WIP, one stock is there, that is of finished goods. So we have COGS, then you'll have selling and distribution overheads. So you will get your total cost. And then since selling prices are given, you can find out your sales and the balancing figure will be your profit. Now for all this, we need working notes, working note 1, working note 2. Maybe we can even do working note for this. Remaining other things are ready-made. Correct, students? So let us start with working notes. Now first working note is for direct material. Now, students, I always say that language is the key. So see what is given. They say, I'm reading adjustment number A, direct material unit A is twice as much as the type B shoes. Now, we do not know that material cost of A also and B also per unit, but they are saying whatever is the material cost per unit, type A material cost is double of that of type B. So let us start with our equation. Let material cost per unit of type B should be X. Therefore, Material cost of type A shoe will be how much? It is double, so it will be 2x. Now, what is our equation? Total material cost is material cost of A plus material cost of B, right? Now, we are taking the total figures. Now, what is the total figures? The total material cost during the period is 15 lakhs. Now, for A, we have 40,000 pairs, and for B, we have 120 pair of shoes. So when we multiply the per unit cost by this, we will get the material cost of A and B respectively, correct? So it is 15 lakhs is equal to 40,000 is the units of A into per unit is 2x plus 1,20,000 is the units of B into x. Now this is 80,000 x, this is 1,20,000 x, so the total becomes 2 lakh x. So 15 to x, therefore x is equal to rupees 7.5. And what is this? Material per unit of B. Therefore 2x will be rupees 15. This will be what? Material per unit of A. Correct? So now I will get these figures. So this is 40,000 units into 15. This is 1,20,000 units into 7.5. 15 fours are, so this is 6 lakhs and 120 into 7.5. 12, 7 by 84 and half is 6, 9 lakhs. Correct, students? Second, similar working we'll do for direct labor. Now, what is given in the question for direct labor? So now I'm reading B. The direct wages again per unit, which is for type B, is how much? It is 60% of type A. So let direct labor cost per unit of type A shoe be Y. Therefore, direct labor cost of type B shoe, it will be how much? It will be 0.6y because it is 60%. Now again the same equation, total labor cost is equal to labor cost of A plus labor cost of B. How much is this total? Total is 8,40,000. Okay. So 8,40,000 is equal to 40,000 is the units of A into X plus 1,20,000 is the units of B into, sorry, not X, it is Y. Now this is 40,000 into Y is 40,000 Y and 1,20,000 into 0.6 is 72,000 Y. So 72 plus 40 is 1,12,000 Y. This is equal to 8,40,000. Therefore, how much is Y? 12 sevens are. So 784 and 0.5 is 6. Right. It is again 7.5, which is labor per unit of A, and then 0.6y is equal to 0.6 of 7.5. 42, 4.5 This is labor cost per unit of B. Correct, students? So again, same working here. The same working. Correct. This comes to 3 lakhs. Correct. And 480, 480, 540. What will be prime cost? Prime cost is 9 lakhs and 1440. Correct? Third working note. Production overheads per unit. Total production overheads upon total units produced. Now, how much is production overheads? It is 360, and units produces 40 plus 120 is 160. Correct? So rupees 360 divided by 160 units. Correct, students? So how much it comes to? 16, 2s are 32, so 320 at 40, so 2.25. 2.25 per unit is my production or factory overheads. So again, 40,000 into 2.25 and 1,20,000 into 2.25. This will be my production overheads, and the total of this will be my factory cost or production cost. Call it as production cost, call it as factory cost. 80, 90. Correct? And then 12 2s are 24, so 240. 240 and 1/4 is 50. 270. Right, students? So this is 990 and this is 1710. Correct? Understood? Now, what was given for administration overheads? I think that was given ready-made. So, administration overheads is 150% of wages. So, direct labor into 150%. How much is direct labor here? 3 lakhs. So, 150% is 450 and 540. So, 270. 270 is 810. So 1440, 25, 20. Now opening stock is nil, but you have closing stock. How? Because you produce 40, you sold 36. So 4,000 is stock here. And you produce 120 and sold 100. So 20,000 is stock here. So this is closing stock of A, this is closing stock of B, this is in units. Now we need to find out the values. I'll just do the working here. So working note 5. Valuation of closing stock. Now, how do you value closing stock? You take your cost of production, you divide it by units produced, multiplied by units of closing stock. So we do it for first type, that is shoe A. How much is my cost of production of shoe A? It is 1440, correct? Upon how many units? 40,000 into 4,000 units of stock. So how much am I getting? I'm getting 1,44,000. So this is 1,44,000. Correct? The next is 2520. This is shoe B. 1,20,000 units. Closing is 20,000 units. And sixth. 6 fours are 12. 12. So 420. Correct. Now in the working, we have to subtract. Because closing stock is to be subtracted. So how much am I left with? It is 1296. And this is 21 lakhs. Now comes selling and distribution overheads. How much is it is given? Selling and distribution overheads is 1.5 per pair. Now, importantly, students, selling cost will be calculated on units sold. So it will be units sold into rupees 1.5. Now, how many units have sold here? 36,000 units are sold. So into 1.5, how many units are sold here? 1 lakh. So this will be 1,50,000, and this will be 36 and 18 is 54. So my total cost now will be 1350 here, and here it will be 2250. Now profit will be my balancing figure. Sales. Now how sales value will be computed? It is units sold, which is 36,000 into the selling price. Again, units sold, which is 1 lakh into the selling price. Now what is the selling price? The selling price is 44 and 28. 44 and 28. So 28 into this is this 28 lakhs, and it will be 550, which is the profit here. Now 36,000 into 44. How much it will be, students? Is it 1584? Yes. Now how much is my profit? 234. Correct? Is this clear, students? Understood? You can just take a screenshot of this, though I will be sharing the sheet. But still, you can take a screenshot of this for your reference. So see, this is slightly maths-driven question. Correct? Understood by all? Anybody, any questions or doubts, students? No? Should I proceed? Good. Now the next point. Now these are again maths driven questions. What it says, from the following information, prepare cost sheet with as many details as possible. Material is given 12.5% of selling price. Labor is given 17.5% of selling price. Production overheads one-third of prime cost. Administration overheads related to production is 50% of cost of production. Profit is this. Now, how do I prepare or find out the cost sheet? Again, the same rule. First, prepare your format. So, cost sheet, direct material, direct labor, factory overheads, administration overheads, selling and distribution overheads, profit is your. After making this entire cost sheet, I will start doing fill in the blanks of whatever information I know. Now, interestingly, in this entire question, everything is in percentage or ratio. The only one value I know, value, is of profit. Now, they've given the value of profit as 750 plus the percentage. It is 15% of sales. So this will be my starting point. So I get this, and this is also 15% of sales. So if I divide 750 by 15%, I will get my sales value. So 15 5s are 75. So my selling price comes to 5,000. Correct? Because 15% of 5,000 is 750. Now, once I get selling price, I can find out many other figures. How? Material cost is 12.5 and labor cost is 17.5. So 5,000 into 12.5, 5,000 into 17.5%. This will give me my first two values. Correct? So tell me how much is direct material at the rate of 12.5%. So is it 625? Correct? So it is 625 and 875. Yes, correct, Asta. Now, how much is my factory overheads? It is one-third of prime cost. So it is 1500 upon 3. So factory cost is 2000. Then it is administration overheads, which is 50% of cost of production. So now interestingly, please pay attention. This is 50% of this. Interestingly. Now I don't know this, but I know this equation that this is 50 of this. So this is 100. So now I'm making an equation. If this is 50 of this, so if this is 100, this is 50. So how much is balance left? 50. So I get this particular answer that if administration overheads has to be 50% of your cost of production, then let cost of production be 100. This is, I'm assuming 100. So this will come as 50. So by default, factory cost balancing figure will be 50. So in short, this has to be 2000 because equation wise both are 50. And then this will be 4000. Correct? Now here I had 5000 minus 750. So my cost of sales is 4250. My cost of production is 4. So balancing figure 250 is my selling and distribution overhead. So this I find out by balancing. Students, I hope this is clear to all. So see, this is a pure mathematics driven question where all other values were given as a ratio. Only one value was given as a whole figure, which is the profit. And basis that profit, we derived these other values. Correct? Clear, students? Should we proceed to the next question? The next question is similar mathematics driven. Again, what is given over here? Maxim Limited submit following cost sheet for job number this for the month of Feb. Material consumed, factory wages, direct expenses. So first three expenses are given ready-made. Now what is given? Works on cost is 20% of works cost. Office on cost, that is administration overheads, is at the rate of 40% of cost of production overheads. Selling distribution on cost, that is selling distribution overheads, is 25% of cost of sales. So here again, the overheads are given in percentage, but it is slightly interesting. When you solve this, you'll find what is the special point over here. So again, I prepare cost sheet. Again, I first write down the format. Now see, first three figures are given. So this is job Z201. Now, what are the figures which are given? Material 40, wages 2750. 40, 2750, and expenses 1250. So the total of this comes to 80 lakhs. Now see the interesting part. What it says, works on cost. Now see, this is another name for factory overheads or production overheads. It is 20%, but it is 20% of works cost. So this amount is dependent on this. So it is given that this is 20% of this. So let this be 100. So this will be 20. So by default, this will be 80. Now, if this 80 is equal to 80 lakhs, then 20 will be equal to how much? So I get this figure of 20 lakhs. So this becomes 100 lakhs, matching with the ratio. Again, on similar lines, what is given for office on cost? That is administration overheads. It says it is 40% of cost of production. Now again, this figure is dependent on this. So again, let this be 100. So how much will be this? This will be 40. So this will be 60. Now for 60, it is 1 lakh. Correct? Then how much will be for 40? So that is how you'll determine the administration overheads. So if for 60, it is 1 lakh, how much it will be for 40? So it will be 66,6667. So this will be 166,6667. Correct, students? Any questions or doubts? And then comes selling and distribution. It is 25% of cost of sales. So this is straightforward. There is no challenge in this. It is straightforward. 25% of cost of sales. So it is 16,666 into 25%. Now, how much will be 25% of this? 4 is 16. Student, just tell me how much is 25% of this. No, 1 second, 1 second, 1 second. It is again 25% of cost of sales. I'm sorry. So still that same equation is required. It is 25% of the next figure. Yes. So again, this is dependent on this. So if this is 100, this is 25. So this becomes 75. Now if 75 is this, how much will be 25? And then how much will be 100? So 5, 15. Correct? It will be 55 lakhs, 55,555. Yes. Is this correct, students? Yes. So 2 crore 22 lakhs 22,222, and then profit, and then selling price. Profit is 25% of sales. So same again back calculation. Profit is 25% of sales. So this will be 75. Correct? 6,000, 15,000. How much it is coming, students? 1/3 of 2 crore 22 lakhs 22,000. 1/3 of that, how much it is coming? 740,707. 740,707. Okay, fine. And then 29629,629. So see, students, how these mathematical sums are there. So you may get even this type of a question where some part of simple maths, not complicated maths like derivative, integration, calculation, those maths are not required, but at least these simple maths would be required, and you should be prepared for that simple maths also. So students, I hope you understood all these varieties of questions that we did, all the different varieties from job, badge, then even uh, contract costing, everything we try to cover in this particular revision. Yes, Pooja.
Sir, if question is asked in exam, then presentation will also be same. Means, sir, if they have given, please provide cost detail like cost of sale or different alag components, sir. देन ऑल्सो वी कैन प्रिपेयर कोस्ट शीट, और अलग अलग मतलब अलग अलग करके दिखाने पड़ेंगे या दोनों करने पड़ेंगे एग्जाम में प्रेजेंटेशन के लिए सर?
नहीं, एक बार आप वापस पूछो, आपको क्या पूछना है?
सर मैं ये पूछना चाह रही हूँ कि जैसे एग्जाम में क्वेश्चन आया कि डिटेल बताओ, जैसे कॉस्ट ऑफ सेल या प्राइम कॉस्ट ऐसे, तो हमें कॉस्ट शीट बनानी पड़ेगी या फिर कॉस्ट
यस।
शीट भी बनाए और
नहीं,
फिर
कॉस्ट शीट ही
नीचे?
बनाइए। कॉस्ट शीट ही बनाइए, क्योंकि कॉस्ट शीट में आपको सारे डिटेल्स एक फॉर्मेट में लिख के कैलकुलेट करते आएंगे। सो प्रिपेयर कॉस्ट शीट बेटा।
और फिर उसके बाद नीचे डिटेल में भी देना पड़ेगा कि कॉस्ट ऑफ सेल ऐसे निकला, और
नहीं नहीं, जब आपके ऊपर कॉस्ट शीट में आ ही जा रहा है ना वो।
अलग अलग से बार बार दिखाने की जरूरत नहीं है बाद में, मतलब दोबारा
करेक्ट।
से?
करेक्ट।
ओके सर, यही इश्यू था प्रेजेंटेशन का।
यस। Asta beta, if you are asking about machine hour rate, then the
थैंक यू।
wages of operator comes in running cost. Yes, beta. Pooja. So Asta, it will come under running cost. Correct. So students, I think with this we can conclude today's class. I'm sure today's all discussion sessions, all different types of questions done would help you in practicing and solving at your end. Yes, Pooja. Asta, you can say so. Machine cost. So students, let us conclude. So thank you very much. Kindly practice from all materials that we have posted on our website. So you'll find materials in the form of past exam questions, MTPs, RTPs, all are posted. Kindly use them. They are very useful and very important for your exams. Fine. So students, thank you very much. Let us connect again. As the wages of attendants, again, it will be then machine cost only. Now, all these are running cost of machines, because with these costs only you can run the machine. So they are all running cost of the machine. So wages of operator, wages of attendants, or these are running cost or machine cost, right? Okay. So thank you. Thank you very much, students. Good day for today and keep practicing. Yes, Manishi, over from my side. Thank you, sir. Good day.